What makes a manly man a manly man?
Let's talk about that, punk.
Hi, I'm Lauren from the USA. Good mythical morning.
Good mythical morning.
This episode is brought to you by the Rhett and Link store. Go to RhettandLink.com, click on store, and you can get this. Bam! Good Mythical Morning official t-shirt.
Whoop, whoop.
Get you one. Be your mythical best, people. Thanks for joining us today.
Yesterday, we released a new video on our main channel called Epic Rap Battle of Manliness. We also released some behind-the-scenes videos along with that. Make sure you check those out if you haven't.
Thanks.
But don't do it yet. Just wait till the end of this video.
Wait. Thanks for sharing those with everybody. As well as sharing this show. You know, this show is important. It's important to invite people to watch this. We ask questions. We discuss things. We find answers. We learn stuff. We bond. Let's bond today by asking a question. What makes a manly man a manly man?
This is a question that we had to come up with an answer for when we decided to create the Epic Rap Battle of Manliness. And we said, let's encapsulate masculinity and manliness into a rap battle. And so we were like, well, what kind of things should we cover? Before we get into what kind of things we decided to cover and what that revealed about us, I will say that there was some introspection at the beginning of this. And
are we manly enough to make this video? Is that what you're saying?
Well, the first thing I said, I was like, okay, you got to take the glasses off when during your performance. You've got, because more than 7 or 8 times in the history of the internet since you have been wearing those glasses, you have been accused of looking like Thelma from Scooby-Doo.
Well, hold on. She's pretty manly. I mean, as far as Scooby-Doo characters go, she's one of the most manly ones.
She's a pretty manly woman, but she is a woman who wears a turtleneck and a skirt, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. I've never worn a turtleneck and a skirt.
So you can't have a man who could be mistaken as Thelma to be a manly man. And listen, I wouldn't call this hair.
You don't hear me arguing with that, by the way.
You have a lot more of an Adam's apple than I do. I have, they say the test of a man is his Adam's apple.
But then again, so did Thelma.
Yeah.
Think about that.
So anyway, we had to look at ourselves and we saw some things lacking. But we said, you know what?
Hold on. You just talked about the things that I had lacking.
I don't have an Adam's apple.
That's it? That's all you can say about yourself that's lacking? What about your hair?
I have hair products.
Your attention to hair.
Elvis paid a lot of attention to his hair.
So now you're just being defensive. Okay, throw me under the bus on that one. Call me Thelma and move on. But yeah, I decided to play up. I put my hair behind my ears and I wore the glasses, and then I put my hair in front of my ears when I took off the glasses. Because manly men don't show their ears.
Testosterone wings.
As we talk about this, we invite you in the comments to also share your theories on what makes manly men manly. And if you're not into the whole manly thing, just take the whole video as a skewering of the stereotypes that are pretty ridiculous about what it means to be a man.
Right, because we are entering an era in Western civilization of what I like to call the Androgynous Era. And that is when men are looking more like women and women are looking more like men. We're not going to comment on that.
I think we've already been commenting about it via Scooby-Doo for a while.
And we may be part of that. But this Epic Rap Battle of Manliness was just putting our manly foot down and saying, we're going to be men for at least one video.
Now, and there it was. It's happened. So I've always said, from the time I was a youngster, I've always said the difference between a man and a woman is the direction you look when you see roadkill.
I don't avert my eyes when I pass roadkill.
Do you like to stare at roadkill?
Definitely. I look at it as I'm passing by, and then what kind of animal is that? Whoa, look at that one. Oh, whoa.
Gosh,
I see the stomach contents.
Yeah, I hate to look at roadkill.
I wonder how long that's been out here.
But I can do nothing but look at roadkill. But I think the idea of what makes a man, for a lot of people, including me, I think comes from your father. Mm-hmm. Most people have fathers. Some of them are more present than others. But just the idea of manliness is probably first generated, I think it's fair to say, in your father. Now, my dad, we'll throw a picture up there on the screen. My dad is, first of all, you got to notice the resemblance there.
He looks exactly. In fact, I don't think that is your dad. I think that is you, and you just went to You took a picture with Hipstagram, or I just made up a
Hipstagram, yeah.
Hipstamatic or
We're
Instagram.
developing that.
It's a new app.
So first of all, manliness to me means a huge mustache, and but besides that, my dad is a very hairy guy. Like,
A lot hairier than you.
we went to the beach a few months ago, and of course he goes to Myrtle Beach because that's where men go. They go to Myrtle Beach. Dang it! He takes his shirt off, and like there's just hair, like just hair.
Well, I
is
remember
everywhere.
we went whitewater rafting with your dad, and he like took his jacket off, and I was like, "Take your jacket off." He's like, "I already took my jacket off." I mean, it was like,
A fur coat.
It's like take your sweater off, Charles. But I mean, that man has a lot of hair. You don't have nearly the amount of hair he does.
And he can barefoot ski. Now, you added that as a lyric to the song.
My dad used to talk about barefoot skiing because I think of my dad
If you don't know, it is possible.
about as manly as a man can get. And the thing I remember from my childhood about they still exist. My dad has huge calves,
My dad does too.
big old calves. I mean, my dad's short; he's 5'9", but the man has
Big
the
calves.
calves of a 6'7" lineman in the NFL. I mean, there's so much muscle. I didn't inherit those.
As a man, so what we're concluding is that all of your hair should be concentrated on your upper lip, and all of your muscles should be concentrated in your calf area.
Yeah. One of the things that we talked about, we thought we needed to touch on grilling.
Well, I got the know-how to properly grill every part of a cow, and when I taste the veggie patty, I just spit it out. I'll break your face with a plate if you want it well done.
And specifically charcoal grilling, because I converted to a charcoal only guy about 2-3 years ago. I don't believe in grilling with gas anymore, and I'm a purist at this point. I'm a little. You could say that I'm kind of obnoxious about it, but you recently have made the conversion yourself. At least, well, you have a charcoal grill now because we had 5 of them for the video, and you took one of them home.
I took one of them home, and
You're like more of a man.
It was a rite of passage to become a man. If you want to feel like total man, just get a bunch of charcoal, fire it up, and just just feel the heat come from it, and know that you are taming it, and then preparing something to consume over top of it. It's just, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Hair is growing on my body just thinking about it.
I think you should get waves of heat just thinking about it.
I'm getting heat flashes just thinking about it. I'm like a woman going through menopause. That's how manly I am right now.
Yeah, it's just not some knob. I mean, anybody can turn a knob, you know? But a man has to think about...
Set something on fire.
Put the charcoal in a chimney and light it on fire, and you have to control the heat with the vents. You can't just turn it down. You're like,
There's
I
a
gotta
science
close
to
a
it.
vent. That's a manly thing. The other thing we touched on was working on your own car.
When my car breaks down, I don't call a mechanic. I just open the hood, and then I stare at it. And then I call a mechanic. But I won't be cheated. He's not going to talk me into repairs, and I didn't know that I needed it.
This lyric is very true to our personal lives because there was a phase that we both went through a few years ago where we were like, we need to fix our own cars.
Because we're men. And men without money fix their own cars. Or just men fix their own cars. But we were kind of desperate. I don't think we were looking to be men. All I know is that there was a big nut that I took off of somewhere, and then I dropped it down into the engine. And that's not good. I couldn't fish it out.
You never found it?
I never found it. I just put the cap back on and just kept driving and hoped that it settled to the bottom and didn't cling around.
What ended up happening?
Nothing. That's how manly I am. I didn't fix the problem.
I could drop a nut in a car and nothing happens. I, on the other hand, I had a 96 Dodge Intrepid. We've talked about this car on the show before.
Looked like a spaceship.
And I needed to change the water pump, which involved
Doesn't sound easy.
taking the timing belt off, and I had to get special tools from like AutoZone. And long story short,
You got the Haynes manual, which gives you step-by-step instructions.
but you have to be good. The instructions are. I totaled the car. I mean, let's just cut
Literally.
to the chase. I worked on the car for a month. It stayed in the driveway. Worked on it for a month, and then after week 3, I was completely lost. I didn't know what I had done. I didn't know what parts went where. I just called that number you call when you want to give your car to a charity and they come and pull it away. I just did that.
You don't give totaled cars to charity.
Yeah, you
right?
do. No, the whole point of the thing is you give your car in whatever state it's in. They can use it for parts. You just give it to them, they take it, and you get a tax credit.
Really? That's manly. Getting a tax credit.
For totaling your car.
Knowing what you could get tax credits for, I think makes you manly. And then the other stereotypical thing, and I think this can be the last one, you can tell us more in the comments, it's just sense of direction.
My GPS gets its sense of direction from me.
And the fact that...
Can you tell me which way north is right now?
I was going to say this way.
I don't know. I just pointed. I didn't even think about it. Just I
like
feel like
your hand is a
the
compass.
man in me pointed that way.
I use a GPS. I like it. It's technology.
Well,
I'm a man.
when you
Men like
live in
technology.
Los Angeles, you need a GPS. But I have noticed I've done something. When I think that I know where I'm going, when I think that now I can get there on my own, I cut the GPS off.
Like you're like halfway there?
Halfway there, I'm like,
I
you know
got
what?
this.
I think I got this, and I cut it off because I want to know that I figured it out on my own. I do that regularly. Now, I'd say 70% of the time, I'm like, I got to cut it back on.
That's it.
Then wait for it to reload.
That negates all manliness.
Well, but the 30% of the time that I get there on my own after getting lost for a little bit, that makes me a man. I also built a shelf recently.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter.
Yeah, I tweeted that out. I built that, and I didn't total anything, and it wasn't a kit. I did follow instructions.
Did you secure it to the wall?
I did. It is the only thing in my house that is earthquake-proof other than me.
It's good.
We keep almost...
I'm sorry, guys. What can we do? It's not even probably going to be that great when we land on
Let's
it.
make the red and the blue and the black 3 times as big.
Okay, we'll add another one. What does that say? Negate each other.
No, I don't think we should negate each other.
No, I think we should.
But
This has been a great episode, people.
No, I think that this episode was below average at best, and I don't even know why you're watching it.
And I think it was bad.
And you know what? It's the temperature in here is. I gotta say, Jason, you need to
Perfect.
whatever
you're doing,
you need to tinker with that
with the temperature
air
thing over there.
thing there.
Don't change it.
You know what? Your shirt is great. Link.
Awesome.
It is the greatest shirt in the world.
We accidentally agreed because we want to sell these.
I am my own boss. My middle name is Hoss. I don't even know what it feels like to sit with my